Hi, I'm Cheryl Jamison, the culinary editor for New Mexico Magazine. Happy January. It's still a little cold outside, and today we're going to make a big pot of comfort, or at least that's what I think of as our New Mexico Posole being. Now, this particular recipe is in our January issue, and this issue, I have to say, is really a quite extraordinary combination of lots of historical information from writers who used to write for our magazine, including people like Tony Hillerman, D.H. Lawrence, Mabel Dodge Lujan, and in the culinary area, for many years, it was written by a lady named Adele Amador. Adele, my predecessor, was really quite a lady. She started writing this column for New Mexico Magazine. It was called Southwest Flavor, and she began it when she was at an age really that most people are retiring. But she said that the only use she ever had for the word retiring was when it was time to go to bed. Now, she was sort of a grandmotherly figure around the magazine. She was a feisty lady and so smart. And our Posole recipe that we're making today comes from her. And it has the basics. You know, the New Mexico corn that we use in this. This is the frozen Posole, which comes in packages like this in your supermarket. And I've mixed that up, and it's been cooking away here on its own for a couple of hours. This takes a while to cook, but it's also really, really simple. Now, I mixed into it some pork. We just have some pork shoulder, a little bit of pork shoulder roast, and I've cut it into pieces that are about bite size and cooked it down for a good while that way. And the pork's giving some terrific flavor to this. And then the things that Adele put in it that are, well, a little bit different would include some stewed tomatoes. And she liked to put 2 cans of stewed tomatoes in this. I'm using the Muir Glen organic stewed tomatoes. And I've already got one of my cans in here. And we have a really pretty red color to our Posole this way. And then, after it had cooked down for a good while, Adele liked to add green chili. Now, I think that red chili is maybe a little bit more common in winter Posoles, but this is just great. And she would mention that, you know, you would usually have green chilies fresh in season, of course, but this time of year we can work with our dried New Mexican pods. I have some really lovely chilies here. Of course, you can get these in any supermarket already chopped and frozen and chopped, but if you have your own bunches of chilies, like I'm working with here, you can just chop each one individually and leave out the seeds and go ahead and chop those and get them ready to go. I'm working with a medium hot New Mexico pod. These are one that's called New Mexico Heritage 6-4, and it has a really nice medium heat flavor. And while you can get chilies from all kinds of New Mexico businesses, these happen to come from Bayads, which is down in southern New Mexico in the Las Cruces area. Well, all we have to do is let this simmer a little bit longer, and while that's finishing up, we have some cornbread to go with this too. It's just a great combination of a meal. Now, this is a cornbread, and to me, one of the things that makes cornbread best is to cook it in a cast iron skillet. Mine's cooled off enough here that I was able to take out a piece or two. And I just want a wedge of this that I can slice out this way. And I'm going to put that on a plate here in just a minute. We'll have our Posole in a bowl on the side. Now, talking about Adele Amador, she had wonderful stories, and one of my favorites that she had related in one of the issues of New Mexico Magazine was about how when she was young and her mother and she and her mother were roasting green chilies on their family stove, the stove blew up. Anyway, that didn't discourage her from becoming an avid cook later on. And if you go back through issues of New Mexico Magazine for many years, you'll just find all kinds of great stories about how traditional New Mexican fare was prepared in our small villages and communities for many, many years in the past. So, are you getting hungry? I think it's about time to serve this up. Kenny, you could probably give me a salad bowl. And today it'll become a Posole bowl. Ooh, I can't wait to have some of this. I wish you could smell this. Oh, and it's got such pretty colors of the green and of the green chili, as well as those red tomatoes. And the tomatoes really do give it a nice flavor. Now I'm making a big bowl, like as a main dish bowl. You could garnish this if you wanted with, oh, maybe some strips of cabbage, some radish or lime juice. But those are really more Mexican additions to Posole. I like this big old bowl just the way it is, and that's how I'm going to serve it and eat it myself today. Well, I have my cornbread here to go with it, and I hope that you'll get a copy of New Mexico Magazine's January issue featuring 90 years of our celebrated epic state. You'll learn all about these dishes and much more. Thanks.